Hello, I'm Burton Klein here on CCP TV, the educational channel of Community College of Philadelphia. Today's presentation, things about travel. Things, all capital letters for the word things. Things about travel. That's the best way I can define it, ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience. And there's not going to be any decorum to this presentation. There never is when I speak, by the way. There's not going to be any order to this presentation. But there's something one must consider when I talk about these things about travel. They would be adjusted, would they not, to the length of time you plan to travel. If one's going down the shore for the day, you would not do some of the things I'm going to mention. If someone's going away for 6 months, you would do a lot of the things I'm going to mention. So you and your thinking will adjust your thinking to these things about travel. Don't you think it's about time I got started? I do. And again, thank you for viewing. Don't turn it off. You're going to learn things one should know before one travels, from one day to a year. Follow me, please. Don't broadcast where you're going to go. You're in the gas station getting gas, and you start telling the attendant or you start telling someone you meet, yeah, the wife and I are going away. We're going down to Wildwood Crest. We're going to be there for about 6 weeks. And we have a nice place on Wisteria Drive. I think the address is 109. Oh my goodness. You might as well give away your Social Security number. Don't broadcast that you're going away. Things happen. Some bad things happen when people aren't all as nice as this viewing audience. When people know you're going away. Don't broadcast it. But something everyone should do when one goes away, and this can be just a day at the shore. Have on your person, have on your body, something regarding your medical records. Have something that says, what's the matter with you? You might have a stent, or you might have kidney problems, or what pills you're taking. But have a copy of that on your body, in your wallet, in your pocket. God forbid anyone should ever need it. But think about that as a thing before you travel. This is hard to take, this one. You've written a will, have you not? Or hopefully you have. That will should be left open on the kitchen table, the dining room table. That will should be out in case something happens on the trip. Which gives rise to another thing. A relative should have a key to your house or your apartment. An honorable neighbor should have a key to your house or your apartment. Think about that. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to think about if you're going to this Wildwood Crest for one day or Ocean City for one day, but one never knows, does one? And then something that my darling wife always says to me before we leave the house. She says, Bert, let's turn the water off. The main water valve, switch, whatever it is one turns off. Let us say something happens in the house, a pipe breaks, or something happens in the apartment building. Turn off that major item so that one does not have to worry. And whoa, wait a minute. You're in the car now driving, Ocean City, Wildwood Crest, Sea Isle, Avalon, to Denver, Colorado, you're taking a trip, wherever you're driving, and you forgot your sunglasses. Oh my goodness, the sun's coming in, the visor doesn't keep all the sun out, you forgot your sunglasses. But wouldn't it be wonderful if you remembered as a thing about travel, to take your eyeglass prescription with you. So if you are somewhere, see the doctor, see the optometrist, see the whatever, you have your eyeglass prescription with you. Absolutely important. Something about suitcases in one of these things about travel. You have a suitcase where it takes a key to open it. And watch me now. What happened to the keys? I lost them. I left them. That means you should have suitcases with a combination lock on it. Or sometimes it's not even a combination lock. It's just a combination that you press on the actual suitcase. But another thing relating to this combination. Keep a copy of the number of that combination in your wallet or in your handbag. But wait a minute, this is really getting ridiculous. Don't put what it's for. Let's say someone finds your wallet or your handbag and it says combination to my suitcase. Just have the combination there, and hopefully you won't forget what that is for. My goodness, these really are things about travel. And you know you want to write to people when you travel. You must write a card to Aunt Mary. You must write a card to Cousin Bob. Geez, what's his address? He just moved. Oh my goodness. Bring the address book. Bring the address book with the phone numbers so you can make a call to congratulate Cousin Mary for the wonderful wedding she just had of her daughter Martha. So you can write that card. The phone book, the little phone book, the one that you check all the time for numbers. A blank bag. You might say by this time in watching this telecast that I have a blank head. Well, that's pretty true. But if you take some sort of a blank bag, an open bag, a spare bag, what can one use that for? For purchases. You want to bring gifts to the grandchildren. You want to bring gifts to your significant other. A spare bag with you. It's better than just a plastic bag that one can get anywhere, of course. Let's talk about cruising for a moment. Now, this is a touchy subject. Some people go on a cruise, and they want to make sure they do not know with whom they are sitting when they're dining. They want the adventure of meeting new people and learning new things. That's wonderful, and do it. But some people, for either romanticism or for nostalgia, don't want to sit with others. So one gets on the cruise ship, and the first thing one does is go to where the dining room arrangements can be made. And there you tell the person, we want a table for two. But in getting a table for two, as a thing of travel, you don't want a table that's a four-top for four people, because invariably another couple will come over, oh my, they're alone, we're going to sit with you, and it's hard to say no. You want a table for two, if it is for two. Only a table for two. Is it wonderful to sit with others and sit at a table? Of course it is. But I'm just telling you a THING regarding travel. Newspapers. Oh my goodness, I forgot to call the newspaper to cancel. Oh, we're going to be. If you forgot to call the newspaper, that neighbor, the honorable neighbor or relative that lives close by with the key to your place, can take care of it. Or a neighbor can be told to take in your newspapers. But make sure your newspaper deliveries stop if you go on a lengthy trip. And all one has to do is call the newspaper, and they will gladly do that. It's very, very easy. This sounds crazy as a thing of travel. Do you know, folks, if you'll excuse me for what I'm going to say now, this is going to seem grungy, this is going to seem out of sorts, but you can even lessen the luggage that you have if you buy, excuse me now, some items that can be thrown away. You can buy undergarments, if you will. Oh my goodness, it's so hard to say this. That are a form of paper that you do not have to keep. The luggage gets lighter. A thing about travel. Wait, I'm going now to another country. Going to France, going to Austria, going to Germany, going to Italy. Is there a way that I can get some currency of that country? Yes, there is. You can go, and I'm not going to mention the bank. One can check it on the computer or ask around, but there is a bank that will give you foreign currency, or maybe banks. Or one can go to, and I am going to mention, AAA. They will give you foreign currency to get you started in that other country. Of course, if you go to the other country, and the rates of exchange of money is always changing, most countries now will accept dollar bills, and you can exchange the dollar bills. Or when you give gratuities to people in the foreign country, they are glad to accept American dollars many times. You're traveling anywhere now. It need not be a foreign country. It can be our country. But don't wander off the beaten path without being with a group. I won't mention tour companies. There are hundreds of them. But stick with the tour company guides. Don't wander off. I'm going to say it a third time. Do not wander off anywhere at all. You know, going on a trip requires a certain outlook, a positive outlook, not this type of, oh, why we're going again. All right, Mary, I'll meet you in the car, meet you out front, make sure you lock up, turn out the lights. Oh, geez, another trip. If you have that type of outlook, may I make a suggestion as a thing about travel? Stay home. Don't go if that's your outlook. Be positive. Want to go. Want to have the adventure of the travel. There is something involving a wandering from the group. This is tough to tell you about. There are people who have wandered from a group to decide to go snorkeling. They're not in the physical condition they used to be. And one can pull up on the computer snorkeling incidents. Many result in death. So I'm going to say that if you're a snorkeler or like that type of adventure, make sure you're in perfect physical condition. Make sure your equipment is absolutely perfect, or else don't do it. Just like I've said earlier, don't wander from the group. And let's say you're going to this foreign country. From whom do you take advice about what to do in this country that you're going to? You take the advice of a friend. One reason that person is your friend or your friends is because you have the same value system for the most part. You like the same restaurants. You like the same movies. You like to see the same shows. Take a friend's advice about what to do in Athens, or what floor to go to first in the Louvre in Paris, or what to do when one walks around the plaza in Sydney, Australia. Oh my goodness, something else about travel. A thing about travel. If you're going on a motor trip in our country, take a huge plastic bag And in that huge plastic bag, put pillows from home. Sleepy time. Do you know the hotels that we go into now and the pillows are that foam rubber and you try like this. You're pushing and your head keeps bouncing back because of the foam. You can't get a good night's sleep. Take those pillows with you. It's wonderful to have your own pillows. Makes you feel like you're in your own bed. Now you're going on a cruise again. We're back to cruising. Whether you're sitting at a table for two or a table with anyone who happens to be, take the airline that the cruise ship recommends. That airline will give you the transfers to and from the cruise ship. Take the airline that the travel agent, if you use a travel agent, recommends, because it all works in a package, if you will. Stick with what is recommended to you airline-wise and hotel-wise if you stay in a hotel before the cruise. But you're now at your site. Let us say that you are in Bangkok, wonderful Bangkok, and you're taking a cruise on the water in Bangkok. But you did not book that cruise beforehand. When one travels, you don't book any trip beforehand in the way of a tour. Now, wait a minute, Burton Klein. I had to send that in with the cruise line. I had to send in my tours. No, you don't have to send it in. Let us say on the third day of your trip, you come down with 102.3 temperature, fever. You can't take that trip. Then you have to go through the thing of getting your money back. Don't book the tour until that day. Suppose they're not available. It'll be available. I guarantee you it will be available. Folks, some people know they're going to this Bangkok now. And Bangkok, while you did your work beforehand, you pulled it up on a computer, the temperature is going to be between 87 and 96 every single day. Weather that time of the year, is there rain? Not that time of the year. Very rare. Don't make that mistake. Take clothes for all weather. Evenings can be cool. It can be terrible if you don't have the right clothing, or you're in a certain tour, or you're in a certain theater and the air conditioning is very strong. You must take the proper clothing. Let's talk about tours a little more. Regardless of the beautiful language that you own, regardless of the beautiful language of your heritage, make sure that you have a guide, whatever tour you go, that can speak that beautiful, wonderful language of your heritage. If you're English speaking and come from America and don't have other languages that can come from your lips, make sure your tour guide can speak English so you can understand and enjoy the tour. Oh, we're back on a cruise ship now again. And people say, oh my goodness, seasickness, seasickness. Well, first of all, cruise ships have doctors. And they're skilled doctors, and they're proven doctors. But if there's any seasickness, do one thing. Start taking bites from an apple. Go outside on the ship, and even though there's water there, the thing you're trying to avoid because of seasickness, look out at the water while you're eating that apple. Now this is really crazy. This is really a thing that people don't always think of. And that thing is this. You're away for a long time. A long time. Did you ever think of having that neighbor or relative move your car from where it's parked? Move your car from the driveway to the street? or maybe in front of that neighbor's house or relative's house. You know, there are people that watch for this type of thing. The same car in the same driveway every day, the wheels turned the same way. Hey, those people, they might be away, mightn't they? A crazy thing about travel. But have someone move your car. Wait a minute. This trip is 6 weeks. It was given to you by your children for your anniversary. Surmising all this now. Hypothetically now. And they give you this trip and you're going abroad or across the wonderful United States of America, and it's summertime. And what happens to your grass? Watch my hand. That's a key to someone that you ain't home, honey. Your grass needs cutting. So you can arrange as a thing of travel to have someone cut your grass. Gosh almighty, Burton Klein, where did you think of these things? Folks, they don't come from my stupid mind. These are things that are written about, that are discussed by travelers. One can find things like this on the computer that I'm talking to you today. Things to do before you travel. Wait a minute. Did I forget altering lighting? Oh, yes, I did. You go away and you can have it that lights go on at certain times in your house. But the lights should even go on in different rooms of your house. A light clicks on one night at 5:10 in the front of the house. It goes on at 6:30 in the evening or 6 a.m. in the morning in the kitchen of your house. You can arrange that. People will advise you as to how to do that. People won't know you're away. You are taking a precaution, are you not? Yes, you are. You know, you're away and you have the grandchildren, you have your daughter-in-law, and you have your son, and you have friends. But you might want to say to them before you go, as a thing of travel, you know, Mary and I are going away and we sort of want to lose ourselves, you know what I mean. Would you excuse us if we don't call you on the phone? Would you excuse us, please, if we don't write to you? Would you excuse us, please, if we don't email? But yet you want to go on a cruise ship, if you are on a cruise ship, or if you do stay in a hotel or a motel that has computers so you can access your emails. And you can email someone if you choose to, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, things about travel. Some of them might have seemed outlandish to you. But if you review and think again what I've said, they're not outlandish at all. They are things that can help to make your trip a very, very safe one. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you for joining us on CCP TV, the educational channel of the Community College of Philadelphia. I'm Burton Klein. I expect to see you next time. Bye-bye.